Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is what I guess is the mid season finale of Ambitions. So I ain't gonna hold y'all no longer. Let's get into this little bitty recap. Okay, so the mayor, his wife Stephanie, and their daughter are all gathered around the breakfast table eating, and because of their connections and a little bit of hard work on Carly's behalf. As far as what she's been doing, she's been holding her own, even though her mama didn't believe in her. There is somebody who is interested in her who is pretty high up there in the arena that she wants to delve deep into as far as acting is concerned. So yeah, they were in the middle of talking about that, and her grandfather, who of course is Stephanie's father, comes into the house now. Now y'all know they have like housekeeping or whoever. They open the door for him because they know that he's family or whatever. Y'all, he done came in there like, y'all need to let me know what's going on with this. He has a receipt on his phone, and it is of his daughter kissing Lori Purefoy. Now, he needs to know that this is something that's doctored up. This cannot be what I'm seeing, and it's just to the point where everybody's trying to calm him down. His daughter's trying to, calm him down. None of that's working, and it gets to a point where she actually says, Granddad, I am a lesbian. And he paused and he looked at her sideways and he was just like in total disbelief. And he became even more angry, and I was just like, that's crazy. Started talking to her real reckless, and it was so bad that Evan had to roll up. He had to rise up and let him know, you need to stop talking to her like that. You need to get up out my house. All that went all the way off. So yeah, early in the morning, the most is going on. So anyway, Amara is following up on a lead that she'd already done some research, and she already knew that she could get this going. So she went to talk to Herschel. Y'all know Herschel was the guy at the building permit office. I think that's what it is. And, she went and talked to him and was like, I have evidence. I know that you did this, that, and the other, or whatever. We have the canceled check from when you were accepting money from him, whether you want to accept it or not. And so he was like, look, I pay my taxes. I have a family, whatever, whatever. So Amara, gives him a moment, and then she go off, and I think she calls her supervisor to let her know that she got him where she want him, and he has evidence against him, so he kind of can't wiggle his way out of there. Next thing we know, we hear a gunshot, and this man has shot himself and killed himself. And apparently he had gotten on the phone with Greg Peters and talked to him, and he had a picture of himself and his family, and I think his family's, all of their faces were cut out or something like that. So of course, a lot of times that means that I'm gonna kill you or I'm gonna kill your family. So this man killed himself. Amara is like mortified at this point, and I know I'd be too. So y'all know she going through it with her husband, and ain't nothing really she can do because he ain't here for her. So anyway, Stephanie is talking to her daughter and just doing how she do, and her daughter is still not here for her, and her daddy wanted to know why the both of them have had so much tension between the two of them, and it's basically because of when she found out about their ongoing situation and she wasn't here for it, and she tried to put a stop to it. Even thought that she, Lori was the one who poisoned her, even though that wasn't the case. Like, it's just a lot. So yeah, But yeah, he was trying to connect the dots, and of course he doesn't have a problem with her sexual orientation, so I'm glad that he ain't trying her like that. So later on, after the shooting, Amara is trying to talk to some people that came on the scene and, let her presence be known, and was like, look, I was following up on lead from him. He was a witness in my case and all this other stuff. And he was just like, yeah, I can't work with you like that. I mean, I guess she thought because she's who she is that she'd be able to just be on the scene and do what she want to do. But she really still didn't get nothing out of the situation. And she was just like, I just need to know what really is going on, because this man just killed himself. Like, what could have been really going on like that for you to go off and kill yourself? So yeah, anyway, y'all, Bella is still out here charming the pants on and off of the son of the person who was supposed to be over this textile company. And something fishy is going on. I knew it before. I just, I still don't know for certain, even after I saw what I saw as the episode progressed. But yeah, y'all, I don't know. But yeah, she is eventually told that she is going to be a long-term partner with them. And it's not just a provisional thing anymore. And so she was like, well, I want to toast, but I only have tea and all this other stuff. So he eventually called somebody and was like, this is going to be easier than I thought. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like, is he in cahoots with her child's father? Like, what is really going on? Like, I don't understand. Because she is an amazing seamstress and designer. So it's like, okay, what's really going on? Y'all need to let me know, because this is really too much. But yeah, he going off to the side, calling people, telling us this is going to be easier than I thought. So I'm like, okay, what's going on? Anyway, at Purefoy, that guy who Titus was talking to before, who kind of was looking at him like, I need this job. He's doing some kind of presentation to Mr. Purefoy, and he loves the presentation. All that is amazing to him. You can tell that Lori and Titus are still like on opposing teams, and it's just not a good look. They should be working together despite their, I guess, hatred for one another. But yeah, it's just to the point where it's like, girl, I get that you can to the person that's over it, but you're just doing the most. So Titus was talking to him and wanted to let him know that he was actually trying to help somebody who he considers to be a friend, who, of course, is Rondell, trying to help her to save her business. And he starts kind of trying to go off about it. And so he had to put that man in his place, letting him know, FYI, this lawsuit is costing, Stephanie's company millions of dollars, and then walked off on him. I was like, you better tell him, because that's what I'm talking about. So, I mean, apparently in the past, Rondell tried to solicit his services, and they were going to be free of charge or whatever. And she just declined. I think it was because she's one of those people who is very prideful, and she wanted to be able to pull this off on her own. And I get that, but she saw that it was beyond her reach, her grasp, and all that. And so she came back to him. And at first he was like, I can't do it. I got too much stuff going on in my personal life. And we have this looming situation with the company that I work for. So no. But then he came back later on and he decided that he would help. So now Rondell is at the restaurant. She has made sure that she let everybody know, yeah, some stuff happened before, but I made a mistake, but I'm here and I'm not gonna stop fighting, and y'all ain't gonna worry about nothing. So they are in there celebrating and still about to try to get all the signatures again, and all of them for real this time. And then Greg Peters walks in. And so she invites him in and told him he might want to have a piece of humble pie. go ahead and serve him up some of that humble pie. And so, you know, of course they have their words, and I'm just like, man, don't nobody have time for this foolishness. It's too much. Y'all know Rondell's daddy singing, he stays setting it off. When that argument or disagreement or whatever you want to call it started happening between his daughter and Greg, he bust out of the back, had his shotgun cocked, and had to set it off and tell him to get on up out of there before he had to leave in a body bag. I was like, sir, you didn't have to set it off like that, did you? So anyway, y'all, Stephanie rolls up on her daddy, and he is in his feelings, of course, still about everything that he just found out about his granddaughter. He's talking about, well, how long have you known about this situation and all that? So she lets him know that, you know, when she found out about it and all this other stuff, and he ain't here for nothing. And then he was like, see, I should have known something was wrong then, because around that same time, that's when your head started not being in the game. So he is relieving her of all her duties as far as that English Rose contract and everything dealing with Greg Peters and his whole family is concerned. And she was just like, you can't do this, whatever. And he ain't trying to hear that. He said he gonna be heading it up and she can get over that. That's what he read her down. Even read her down about Titus and was like, ever since he came into town, I'm just like, oh gosh, no, it's sad. People can see through you to that degree, like, girl, that is sad. And as busy as her daddy seems to be, it's crazy for him to even notice how goo-goo and crazy she has been acting because Titus is there. And of course he knew about the sex that she was having with Greg Peters as well, and he read her about that, so I was laughing and I was here for it. Lori approached her father about the situation. As far as all that stuff actually went viral about Lori and Carly, and so she approached her father about it. He was here for it because he was thinking that it was a part of a scheme, and that's not what it's about. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, well, keep going with that. You need to take this as far as it'll go. And she was like, that's not what this is. So, nah. So, Senior met up with Evan and was talking to him. And he was like, you know, I am planning on proposing for real this time. And he asked him to be his best man. So I was like, oh, that is so sweet. So, y'all, the moment I had been waiting on, because I was like, when they gonna get to this? Oh, Lord. He, you know, after he had that moment, and he was like, you know, I just want you to do right by your kids. And he was just like, and he was like, all of them. Then he looked at him. He just already knew. He realized that his daddy knew what time. Well, he didn't have to say the child's name or nothing. So like I said before, his daddy saw that child, knew it was his. That's crazy. That is crazy. And he over here thinking he doing something on the low and secretive. It's just that his wife ain't really seen that child like that and ain't paid attention. And not that it matters, but it matters, but y'all know this situation. It's just, ugh. So that was crazy to me. And I was glad that finally came out. Amara rolled up on Greg Peters, and he ain't really, you know, scared of her bark like that. You know, she trying to make it seem like she know what he up to and all the stuff that went down with Herschel. And he was just like, you can't prove nothing, like whatever. Like, he's not fazed by any of the things that she's trying to bring up and think it's gonna make him go running scared, because it's not. So one day Rondell was taking out the trash late at night, and her daddy, he done got tired. Like, he ain't got time for this. He was like, how many times I've told you to not go out here by yourself? She's not armed with anything, whatever. And I neglected to mention on the last recap that Stephanie put a security detail on Rondell, and with good reason. Y'all, too much is going on, and she finally has the realization that Greg Peters and his family can be very dangerous, and they are willing to go to any lengths to obtain what they want. So she ended up putting a security detail on her and a bodyguard, whatever. And so some noise happened, and her daddy ended up telling somebody to come from out of the shadows, and he introduced who he was or whatever. And he was like, Stephanie Lancaster put me on this detail to protect her, and Rondell ended up saying, I don't need protection, whatever, and sent him away. Y'all, I can't. It's just, whew. That's all I'm gonna say for now. So Amara rolled up on her husband at his job. Y'all know he ain't been back to the house, so she kind of had no other choice. So he was like, what are you doing here? And she was like, you gave me no choice, whatever. So he was still trying to figure out, I don't understand why you here. She was like, you won't answer my phone calls, you won't return my text, any of that. And he was like, well, that should, tell you something. Y'all, she used that as an opening so she could get something out, because he obviously ain't here for nothing she got to say. So she ended up telling him that Herschel killed himself, and got into a little conversation about that. But then it got to a point where he was like, yeah, I want to be there for you, but, can't do it. And so she was like, well, at least tell me where you're staying, just in case an emergency happens with Deja, their daughter. And so he seemed kind of hesitant at first to say anything, but then he did tell her where he was going to be staying. So I was like, okay. Y'all, anyway, Greg Peters, I guess, was summoned to Stephanie's daddy's office because y'all know he was out of the country talking to his daddy. So he came back and they had a conversation, or rather, her daddy laid down the law and was like, look here, I'm going to be over everything. Whatever happens, it's going to be because I say it happens. Everything is going to go through me. And so he was like, yeah, I just came from talking to my daddy, and I assured him that everything is fine. And he was like, yeah, you might have talked to him the other day, but I just talked to him this morning, and he gave me control over doing what needs to be done to get this stuff going on how I need to be going on, this stuff with the English Rose stuff. Y'all, I was just like, dang, your daddy told a complete, even though they went back and go back as far as I don't know how long, the fact that his daddy don't trust him enough to get the job done, that's crazy. So he basically was like, whatever I say is what's gonna go. So I was like, dang, that's messed up. So Evan is at the house, and his daughter comes home from somewhere, but before she walks into the room, he gets a message from his BDSM woman, Daphne, I think that's what her name is, and she was like, let's meet at our usual spot. He's not in town right now because she's married too. Anyway, so he gets this like little smirk on his face. I just rolled my eyes. I can't do it. So anyway, he starts talking to his daughter, and he lets her know how proud of her that he is and all this other stuff. And so she drops a bombshell on him and lets him know that she is going to move. And he was like, what, when, where? So apparently the person who is interested in her as far as acting and all that stuff goes, they had a cancellation, and she can be admitted to the program pretty quickly. So whenever the next program is going to start, she can come if she wants to. And it's like out of the country, wherever it is. I forgot if it's Paris or wherever. But anyway, it's out of the country. And she said that she's going to go, and that's ample opportunity for her because she want to get away from her mama. That's the main thing. And so, at first her dad was like, don't let your grandfather rush you out of here, whatever. And he was like, it's not him, because, I figured that she is well aware of the era that he comes from, and how they do. So sometimes people are just too old to change, but I don't know. But she made a point to be like, yeah, it's because of her. And her mama was around the corner. And I think she was texting Titus, trying to figure out how they can, meet up and discuss the case or whatever. And she is going to go out later on and meet up with him and discuss the case. So anyway, when that does happen, I'll let y'all know what's going on. Anyway, so Bella is at the house. She done put her son down to go to sleep. And old boy, that's the son of, the woman that's over the textile company, he done pulled up at her house all unannounced randomly. And I think this is when he really tells her that everything is on board and they can celebrate. And so she's trying to be professional, but then the thought, I guess, in her wanted to come out. So she commences to fall into the trap like a dummy, and she has sex with him. And while they are having sex, somebody slips into the house, takes Joaquin, and slips back out of the house. This child is dead to the world. He ain't heard nothing. He ain't make a noise, like nothing. And I'm like, really? Really, girl? Mm-mm. So when that situation went down, I mean, they didn't show anything else in relation to that for the rest of the show. But anyway, moving right along. Old boy done left the house giddy to, get some dominatrix action. He done rolled up. He walked in the room. The woman is all in the bed, just laid out. Come to find out, this heifer is sitting there dead. If she ain't dead, then she is like almost dead. So I think she is dead. He ended up getting up, straightened the cover up because he kind of leaned over on the bed and she didn't respond. So he called somebody and was like, I need you to get here now. So then, like I said earlier, Stephanie met up with Titus and they were talking about the case, and then she could tell his head went in the game. Damien texted her earlier and let her know that the relationship, as far as the marriage, has been broken up and all that. So of course she's trying to play on that. So she was like, well, you don't seem like your head is in the game, what's going on? He was like, I'm good. And then he was just like some personal stuff going on. And so she was like, well, you can talk to me. And he was like, you're the last person I would talk to about all of this. And I'm just like, okay. So Rondell is at the restaurant, and their house, where they live is like connected or whatever. And so her daddy was there, and she now knows that he's about to propose again or whatever. He's going to actually propose this time. So he's about to leave out and go handle business with his woman. So she told him that he looks nice, and she's more accepting now. So he leaves, right? And he's on the phone talking to her, and all of a sudden we hear a noise. And the person said, hey, senior, or just say senior. Then they shoot him. I was like, what? They just shot this man. So I'm looking like, okay. So then it came back from commercial. And so he's on the ground at this point, shot. And so he was like, to hell with you or something like that. And then they shot him dead. Like, pretty sure Senior is dead. And if not, I cannot even believe that is the case. So yeah, y'all. Is that oh no, that's not the end, y'all. You would think that would be the end. But the end is, since Amara was notified as far as where Titus was going to be, he told her what place he was going to be at, told her the room number. So she popped up over there. She ain't had no business popping up because she got something she ain't bargained for. Stephanie opened the door in a robe, and Titus was right behind her, and they just finished screwing. So yeah, that was the episode. So they'll be back, I guess, in a couple of weeks or however long, and we'll see what happens from there on out. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoy this. Y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. Have y'all enjoyed this show? Do y'all like the reviews? I'm trying to get better, y'all. I still have stage fright and all that. Even though I'm in here by myself, I cannot. I shudder at the thought of just talking to however many people. I can't. Anyway, I hope y'all have a good one, and I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.